This week, we take you to the beautiful village of Canby to explore Sherwood Park Apartments. It's located in Sylvester Drive Extension and is in close proximity to the Penny Savers supermarket. We have a packed show for you. I'm Davia Chambers and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. Chief Secretary meets with Cabinet. Details on CDB's country strategy launch and later highlights on a Cuban National Folk Ensemble visit to this island. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. We'll be right back.
Come, there we go to Tobago, that paradise, won by Robinson Crusoe. And it is said, it's the land of tomorrow. Princess Margaret say, come to Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come to Tobago for holiday.
This property was built to accommodate friends of the owner who regularly visited Tobago from Holland. They fell in love with the people and culture and really wanted a place to call home. Through this, Sherwood Park Apartments was constructed. Now to our top story this week. The Cabinet met in Tobago recently along with the executive of the Tobago House of Assembly. Here are some of the issues that were on the agenda. Let's get the details in this report.
In recent times, passengers and business people have faced challenges when traveling on the inter-island sea bridge or shipping their goods. This is set to change. Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles met with Cabinet for an update on this and other issues. Mr. Charles says tenders are about to be circulated for a custom-built fast ferry and a cargo vessel to replace the super-fast Galicia.
Cabinet would have agreed as well, in principle, to pursue the acquisition of a new fast ferry in the first instance, because as you are aware, the current ferries are pretty aged, and therefore we have to move in a timely manner to ensure their replacement.
The meeting also yielded an update on the Tobago Autonomy Bill.
I was assured that the bill has been working its way through Cabinet. As a matter of fact, the AG did indicate that there are a couple of issues that we need to iron out, and the plan is that we will be in contact with each other to ensure that these matters are discussed and consensus arrived at so that the bill can be sent to Parliament in the not too distant future.
The long-standing problem of land titles for Tobagonians is also being addressed. Cabinet has assured that those bills will be debated later this month.
So that is good news for us in Tobago because, as you know, we have a situation here where land titles have been problematic. And therefore what this piece of legislation would seek to do is to ensure what we call compulsory registration of land titles in Tobago. And what needs to be said very positively, and I suspect very forcefully, is that the bill is seeking to place in the hands of the state the responsibility for compulsory acquisition.
Changes are also coming to the tourism sector. A new authority will be set up to market Destination Tobago. Central government has confirmed that the Tourism Development Company TDC will be dissolved. Minister of Tourism Shamfa Kudjo says another entity will be established to oversee tourism in Trinidad. I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
Sherwood Park Apartments, formerly known as the Dutch Hotel, was established in 1997. The old name was used for the tourism marketing done on the property, mainly in Holland. Now, it's not yet 3 months since the inauguration of the 10th Tobago House of Assembly, but the new members of the Assembly aren't wasting any time. They already have plans for their various divisions that's rolling out as we speak. In this story, we hear from the Chief Secretary and what we can expect.
The Office of the Chief Secretary, the OCS, wants to begin transforming the minds of Tobagonians so as to improve the lives of people on the island in more productive ways. Now, this will be done via the establishment of a Center for Innovation That's a unit which will facilitate more efficient and creative ways of doing things across all divisions of the THA.
Innovation is important. How do we get our businessmen and our entrepreneurs to face the challenge? It would be through innovation, in the sense that new ways of packaging what we have, new ways of producing what we have, new ways of taking it to the next level in respect of processing. How do you meet those challenges if you continue to only use old ways? You know, and therefore the idea is to begin the process of transforming the minds of our people.
Public sector reform to improve productivity and customer service is another important area for 2017. Mr. Charles says public sector operations need to be improved if the island is to achieve regional and global standards.
As public servants, we have to become more productive. We have to give a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. Now, public servants are important in that they are the ones that execute the policy. And if we make policies and those policies are not implemented, executed quickly and efficiently, we will continue to lag behind our sisters and brothers in the Caribbean.
The timely payment of employees is another area Mr. Charles wants improved. The OCS will also seek to ensure that the physical spaces in which THA employees work meet occupational safety and health standards. For energy-related matters, the timely payment of employees is another area Mr. Charles wants improved. The OCS will also seek...
I should be meeting shortly with some persons to talk about how we could expand the portfolio of energy so that we take a more proactive role in issues relating to energy, not only oil and gas, but in terms of sources of renewable energy. Because these days everybody is talking about the new green. Yes, the use of less paper, talking about solar energy, natural gas.
Tobago is also seeking to get its own town and country planner to approve residential construction on the island. Those talks with central government have already begun. The OCS also plans to improve the operations of the Town and Country Planning Division to allow for more timely approvals. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. The name of the property was inspired by the location as it's situated in Sherwood Park. And just as residents of this community collaborate to host activities, officials are also collaborating to find solutions in the midst of the economic downturn. Here are the details in this report.
It takes collaboration to find solutions to the current economic challenges facing the region. The Barbados-based Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, in partnership with the Ministry of Planning and Development, recently launched a country strategy for Trinidad and Tobago here in Tobago. The CDB slogan is, by the region, for the region, and of the region. And the organization wants to help this country move forward.
We have invited you to attend a special launch to get a better understanding of the possible assistance that would be available through the Caribbean Development Bank and to meeting our development agenda as we move our Vision 2030 forward. The Ministry of Planning and Development is the focal point for the Caribbean Development Bank, and we are willing and committed to work with the Caribbean Development Bank to ensure that our ministries access and capitalize on the support available from the bank.
The meeting also provided an opportunity for officials to understand what the country's strategy means for the nation. It will also allow for the stakeholders' feedback.
Also for you to seek any clarification that you may have for your ministry so that you can access the grant resources and the loan resources that are available to shore up our development program in our various ministries.
The bank has outlined certain priority areas that will help strengthen Trinidad and Tobago's economy.
Looking forward, it is our intention to ensure that the Caribbean Development Bank contributes to the financing of economically viable, environmentally sustainable, and socially responsive and inclusive investments, which would redound to the benefit of all the citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
The country's strategy is for the period up to 2020. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
Up next, plans of the Division of Settlements, Urban Renewal and Public Utilities. Stay tuned. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
What will you do in the event of an earthquake? What will you do in the event of a tsunami? Tobago, there is a need to be prepared. On March 21st, 2017, National Emergency Exercise Day, TEMA brings to you Exercise Exodus, simulation of an earthquake followed by a tsunami affecting the islands of Trinidad and Tobago. Exercise Exodus, there is a need to be prepared. Call TEMA now at 660-7489 for more information.
This property has a total of 10 rooms, each suitable for double occupancy with the possibility of extra beds upon request. However, Sherwood Park accommodates a maximum of 25 people. So you heard the plans from the Office of the Chief Secretary. Now we'll tell you what the Division of Settlements, Urban Renewal and Public Utilities has in store for the public.
The past few months have been a period of transition for many of the Tobago House of Assembly divisions. The Settlements Division is no longer responsible for the Department of Labour. It's now the Division of Settlements, Urban Renewal and Public Utilities. The THA's strategy is to streamline these functions to create greater efficiency. Secretary Assemblyman Clarence Jacob says the key to his division's success is ensuring that all policies and regulations are observed. Where housing is concerned, the Secretary says his aim is to provide affordable housing for Tobagonians. He also wants to enhance the administration of home improvement grant and subsidy programs.
The basic thing for me going forward is to make sure that the housing development is on stream. We provide better houses, stronger houses, more comfortable houses for the residents of Tobago.
Buildings that we classify as old will be restored to become historical attractions. The Department of Urban Renewal will soon embark on a program to locate these properties across the island.
The post office in Roxborough, we could do some restoration to that building, and there are other buildings we could do restorations. In my vision, there are like the old buses that we have that we discard. We could bring back some kind of life into those buses and show the younger kids these are the buses that your foreparents used to use.
Having a reliable water supply has also been a challenge for residents in southwest Tobago. Whilst the Department of Public Utilities will continue to collaborate with WASA to find solutions, discussions will also begin for the construction of a desalination plant.
It's a good initiative to increase the supply of water, but in the same breath we are trying to get the desalination plant on the burner.
The Secretary has also been meeting with staff to ensure that the division works efficiently to serve its clients. I'm Keyshawn Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
According to TripAdvisor, guests enjoy the landscape of the property. They also love the location as it's central to the conveniences of the island and is situated away from the hustle and bustle of the village. Students of the Goodwood Secondary School had an opportunity to make their mark as they participated in the school's annual World of Work program. Here are the details in this report.
Students of the Goodwood Secondary School recently put their interview skills to the test in the annual World of Work program. The program targets students from Forms 4 to 6. It provides them with the skills they need for the transition into the job market.
Our World of Work program affords our students annually an opportunity to be exposed to those elements of an interview, resume preparation, and those aspects that would prepare them really for transitioning out of school into the world of work. So it's a program that we endorse. that we'd encourage our students to be part of annually so that they can successfully transition into the job market.
The program has had the desired impact on future veterinarian Judy Thomas. She shares her inspiration behind her career choice and how she believes this experience benefited her.
I love animals. I owned plenty animals. Sometimes they got sick. A vet wasn't available. I would do my research and I was able to do what I could. And I really loved doing it. I was able to get an idea of how it would be in the future when I want to apply for a job and how I need to answer my questions and my proper attire and the kind of mindset I must have when I'm going into the room.
Another student says he's pleased to have a practical demonstration of the world of work. He believes this will help him on his journey to becoming a food scientist.
The career I want is one of my not one, but both of my passions put together, and that is culinary and science. I thought the process was very educational and it was very realistic in a way because it is practice for us to be able to do the exact same thing but under more pressure because it will be in a real life setting.
Goodwood High School has been running this program for the past 5 years. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Sherwood Park Apartments reflects a French colonial styling and is painted in bright colors to portray the modern Caribbean feel. They also facilitate special events that are not limited to birthday parties and weddings. Now come with me as I take you on a journey to the Chief Secretary's Art Competition in its 5th year. This is part of our segment called Footnotes, where we look at development through the years, the highs and the lows, the milestones and memorable moments since 1980 when the new THA was formed. Let's have a look at this week's Footnotes.
Art, it's universal. It's a language understood by people of different cultures and backgrounds. It has the ability to invoke almost every emotion there is. As such, art education where drawing, painting or sculpture is taught has been a part of any well-rounded curriculum for decades. Over the past decade, educators have seen the benefits of such an integral element to education. It also shows that it is a key creative outlet, which can help in mastering core subjects and help conquer sometimes disciplinary challenges. The power of art has been helpful to inspire, motivate, and educate today's students. Right here on the island of Tobago, we've seen how the development of art has transformed and come into its own for most students. And I quote, "If art is to nourish the roots of our culture, society must set the artist free to follow his vision wherever it takes him." End quote. Words of former US President John Kennedy. With talented artists across the island, the idea of having an art competition for secondary schools was a natural fit. In 2012, the Chief Secretary Art Competition was introduced. 5 years later, the competition and the calendar is going strong.
5 years can be considered a long time, or it can be considered a short time, depending on the context we are in. However, what has been evident in this case is that over the 5 years, this competition has continued to grow in stature. It has continued to grow in the quality of the work that has been submitted, and it has continued to grow in the number of participants over the years. And that says that this is a good thing.
One major factor to this competition is that the students are allowed to create without themes or topics, giving them the freedom to express themselves freely. Each piece is a story, sometimes personal and sometimes public, with a healthy dose of a Tobago perspective. This avenue gives students across Tobago not only a chance to compete, but invited them to showcase their talent on a larger platform.
One of the aspects of this activity, which is particularly significant, is that unlike many other areas in which we get involved, we see the fruits almost immediately. The calendar is there. And that calendar tells us what our young people have been doing. And it is not only there for us, it is there for the world. And I don't know if you all know how far these calendars travel. And I don't know if you know the number of places in the world in which these calendars have an impact.
For the past 5 years, we saw entries from the 9 secondary schools here on the island.
Art is my medium of expressing myself and showcasing my talent.
Art is to me like a hobby or something that I like to do in my free time, something important.
With the competition, it was a good experience, many challenges, but I overcame them all.
Each year, winners get $3,000 and 11 finalists are given $1,500 each, which are granted in the form of a unit trust account. The winning school gets $10,000. The winning art pieces are later put on display at Gulf City Mall, the Scarborough Library, and the Shaw Park Cultural Complex.
It's time to take a break, but when we return, the Folk National Ensemble of Cuba in Tobago. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. We're exploring Sherwood Park Apartments in Canby. Now, management offers you a package of paying for 4 nights and getting the 5th one free to give you more time to enjoy the peace and tranquility of the community. Cuba is in Tobago through a Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago educational and cultural exchange program. It's an initiative which started in 2015 and has morphed into a larger program. And this time, Tobago was a full partner in the project. Here are the details.
This can easily be mistaken for a scene from the Tobago Heritage Festival, but it's actually a dance called Ukun, a demonstration of the slave trade, performed by El Conjunto Folclórico Nacional de Cuba. That's the National Folk Ensemble of Cuba. The concert was a part of the Tobago leg of the Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago Educational and Cultural Exchange Program.
The Tobago Assembly has always had a long-standing relationship with Cuba. We've had cultural exchange programs like this in the past, where the idea behind it is to really share of the Cuban culture, because the Cuban culture is very rich and very diverse, as well as Tobago sharing with the Cubans the things that we feel very strongly about and feel very passionate about as Tobagonians.
The 36-member Cuban contingent also held a workshop covering dance, music and percussion, which are also prominent in Tobago's heritage.
Singing plays a heavy part, chanting plays a heavy part in what they do, so they are sharing all those kind of information. So for the Heritage Festival, for example, we have the same components. We have the dance component, we have the drumming component, we have the music component, and we have the singing component. So it's very similar. So we just kind of embracing all those different things.
These similarities have an added benefit. They can inspire more innovative ways of presenting Tobago's signature festival.
It's good sometimes to really embrace other cultures, because what it helps do, it helps you to give a different perspective as to how you could even approach your traditional stuff. It gives you a different idea in terms of how you could really do things differently, making it a little more exciting. Because one of the things that we have faced over time is that because we keep doing the same thing over and over, and it is our culture, so we shouldn't change it. But we should try to find interesting ways of presenting it, and being exposed to other cultures help with that.
Over the years, the Tobago House of Assembly and Cuba have partnered in many areas, including education, agriculture, and medicine. This cultural exchange is just another way of strengthening the bonds between the islands, and there's the hope that in the future additional funding will become available to encourage more cultural exchanges like this one.
I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Apart from the communal pool, guests can keep themselves occupied by having a nice cookout using the grill on the large deck. If that's not enough, then management can arrange tours from diving to bird watching to help you enjoy your vacation on the island. Now, the sound of steel pan never fails to please the ear, but I'll leave it to these three steel bands to tell you what they think about the development of pan in Tobago. Let's have a look at this report.
The sound of Tobago's steel bands is getting sweeter with time. It's all part of efforts to develop the island's bands in recent years. And Tobago's bands have been showing that progress. Many of them consistently qualify for the National Panorama Finals each year. In 2016, Tobago had 8 such finalists, the most in a long time.
Pan has developed in Tobago over the years because what we have is a number of our steel orchestras in Tobago qualifying for the national stage. You know, long ago, that was a no-no. If one band in Tobago got in a finals, I mean, it was like a mystery, you know, but now we have a number of bands really organized in Tobago. Yes, we can do more. We need to have our orchestras in Tobago performing throughout the year. But in terms of our participation in national festivals and all of that, we have really come a long way.
Ryan John, vice captain for All Boys Steel Orchestra, has been playing pan for over 10 years. He shared his talent as an arranger at the Junior Panorama Finals.
I was asked to participate with Compre for the music festival, and after that I fell in love with the instrument. For me, it's a simple process. It's basically listen to the desired piece, and then basically distributing the part of the song as I see fit.
The Tobago House of Assembly has also supported the national instrument. The Assembly has helped NLCB Buccaneers secure its headquarters.
A villager allowed us to put our tent on the land. So sometime after that, the land was sold. We were on it and we were not aware. However, we approached the THA sometime after, seeing our predicament because we had nowhere to go, and the THA then purchased the property for the band.
Now, more young people are gravitating to the steel pan and can be found playing in the senior bands. It's a good sign for the instrument in Tobago in the near future. I'm Kern de Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. So today we're asking, do you think school children should have the week off for Carnival? While you think about it, let's take a look at who had their say this week.
I think they should have the week off because when children don't show up at school, it holds the teachers back from teaching whatever they have to teach because a majority of the class may not come and it might keep them back.
No, I don't think that they should because after Carnival, life continues. Education is just as important as everybody thinks Carnival is.
I think they should because on that day, many children don't show up at school, also the teachers. So I think to avoid all of that, should start the school from the other week.
Children basically don't learn anything and they don't do anything much in that week. So I believe that it is wise that the week should be given for students.
The amount of holidays we have in this country, I think it will affect the school curriculum. So I think giving them that 2 days will just add in more holidays.
No, I do not think so. Because eventually they have to go to work, and when it's time to go to work, they need to be at work on Ash Wednesday and for the rest of the week. And school is a place to prepare children for the workplace, and we have to set that standard from the time they're in school, primary school, secondary school, and throughout their school time.
We close another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close now with a montage of the courtesy calls to the Chief Secretary.